In the far reaches of the north, where forests stretch for miles and the sky burns with aurora fire, lies a nation that does not raise its voice to be heard. Finland, cloaked in snow and solitude, is not a place of loud spectacles or dramatic declarations. It is a country defined not by what it says, but by what it refuses to say. The sacred silence. The first thing you notice in Finland is not the cold. It's the silence. Not an awkward, empty silence, but a profound, sacred one. In the Finnish psyche, silence is not a vacuum to be filled with chatter. It is a natural state. A respectful pause. A canvas upon which meaning is drawn not with words, but with presence. In cafes, trains, elevators, even among friends, there is no obligation to speak. And this is not shyness, nor social anxiety. It is cultural. Silence is golden here, but in Finland, it's more than that. It's platinum. To interrupt silence without cause is to disrupt a shared reverence. Talking unnecessarily is considered noise pollution, says a Finnish sociologist with a dry smile. Foreigners might squirm in the stillness. They try to fill the air, mistaking the silence for tension. But for a Finn, silence is connection. It means, we are comfortable enough not to perform for each other. Finland teaches you to listen to what is not said. To find eloquence in pauses. And in a world addicted to noise, that might just be the most radical idea of all. The National Day of Rage. But silence, too, has its limits. Once a year, Finns allow themselves a very un-Finnish indulgence. They shout. They scream. They rage. It's called the National Day of Failure, but some call it the unofficial National Day of Rage. Born out of an educational movement in 2010, this odd holiday began as a way to normalize failure and emotional vulnerability. But it quickly morphed into something deeper, stranger. On this day, stoic Finns open the floodgates. They write their failures on sticky notes and plaster them on public walls. They stand in parks and confess, to strangers and the wind, about their divorces, bankruptcies, broken dreams. Some even participate in anger workshops, where they beat pillows and scream into the frozen air. It's an exorcism of sorts. A pressure valve. And after centuries of silent endurance, it makes a strange kind of sense. In a society that prides itself on self-restraint, this is the one sanctioned moment to let go. And it reveals a truth hidden behind Finnish quietude. Just because they don't express emotions loudly, doesn't mean they don't feel them deeply. Napping in the cold. A stranger sight still can be found in the snowy streets of Helsinki, Oulu, or even rural Lapland. You might spot a baby carriage parked alone outside a cafe or a home. Inside, tucked beneath thick blankets, a baby sleeps, peacefully, in subzero temperatures. No, it's not child neglect. It's tradition. In Finland, it's common for babies to take naps outdoors, even in freezing weather. Parents believe it boosts immunity, promotes better sleep, and connects the child to nature. And science doesn't entirely disagree. Studies have shown that babies who nap outside tend to sleep longer and fall ill less often. The practice is so normalized that even daycare centers roll babies in strollers outside for afternoon naps. Bundled like tiny Arctic explorers, they snooze with red cheeks and steamy breaths in the biting air. It may look shocking to outsiders. But in Finland, nature is not something to be feared. It is embraced from the very first breath. This country does not coddle its young. It tempers them. The impossible language. If silence is the mother tongue of Finland, then Finnish is its cryptic second. The Finnish language is a linguistic labyrinth, one of the most challenging tongues in Europe. It belongs not to the Indo-European family, like English, French, or German, but to the elusive Uralic group, with distant cousins like Estonian and Hungarian. To a foreign ear, Finnish sounds like a spell whispered across snow. To a foreign tongue, it feels like chewing on ice shards. Its logic is recursive, agglutinative, deeply intuitive to those born to it, and maddening to everyone else. Yet Finns wear their linguistic obscurity like a badge of honor. It is a language that refuses simplification. It is unapologetically itself, much like the people who speak it. In learning Finnish, foreigners do not just acquire vocabulary. They gain access to a way of seeing the world that is spatial, quiet, and precise. Where one word can fold time, emotion, and structure into a single breath. Humor in the shadows. Spend a few weeks in Finland and you may begin to suspect that nobody is joking. Ever. And then, suddenly, someone will say something so absurd, so perfectly dry, that you'll freeze, unsure whether to laugh. That's Finnish humor, a ghost in the woods, not a clown in the room. It is dry, dark, deadpan, and often incomprehensible to outsiders. A joke might be delivered with the same tone as a death sentence. Or hidden behind a long silence. It's not that Finns don't laugh. They just do it differently. Examples. Here's a classic. A Finnish man wins the lottery. His neighbor asks, "What will you do with the money?" He replies, "I'll keep living like I always have. But with more money." Laughter is often internal. Smiles are rare. But make no mistake, humor is everywhere. It just hides, like a fox in the snow. In the sauna, in the silence, in the long dark winters, humor is survival. It's a flicker of absurdity in a landscape that often feels too big, too harsh, too silent to comprehend. The spirit of Sisu. If there is one word that defines the Finnish soul, it is Sisu. There is no perfect translation, but it hovers somewhere between grit, resilience, courage, and stubbornness. It is the quality of continuing forward when logic says you cannot. It is the strength to endure the unbearable, and do it silently. Sisu is the runner who finishes the race on broken legs. The mother who raises 3 children alone in a snowed-in cabin. The soldier who marches through endless night with frostbitten toes. It is not bravado. It is not rage. It is quiet power. Sisu is carved into the Finnish landscape, where winters last half a year and the sun vanishes for weeks. It is written in the faces of farmers, fishermen, and factory workers. It hums in the blood of a people who have withstood wars, famine, and isolation, and emerged intact, though never unchanged. You cannot buy Sisu. You earn it, in the dark, in the cold, in silence. The land that speaks without speaking. Finland is not a land of easy metaphors. It defies romanticism as much as it defies loud declarations. It does not try to impress you. It does not care whether you understand it. And yet, it draws you in. There is something magnetic about a country that lets its forests do the talking. That measures strength not by how much one can shout, but by how long one can stay silent and still endure. Here, in the north, where silence is sacred, failure is celebrated, and humor lurks in the shadows, one learns to listen differently. To feel more with fewer words. To respect the invisible scaffolding of human dignity, where emotion is private and resilience is public. Finland is not loud. But it is unforgettable.